Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. I was having a conversation with a patron and something came up that comes up pretty often when you're talking to people who are just beginning to sell on TCG Player, and that is the idea that you must price at TCG low in order to sell anything. And it's not true, but it's reasonable to think it's true at the beginning when you first start selling, because you might think of a lot of other places in life, a lot of other high velocity markets where the person offering the product or the good or the service or whatever at the lowest price makes the next sale. And that's not always true on TCG Player. In fact, it's rarely true. Normally, I price my cards somewhere around 10% over market price and they sell just fine. So you don't have to price at TCG low. But it's not unreasonable to believe it. And let's go talk about why it is that you don't have to do this. So I just took some cards here. I chose Pyrogoyf because it was a very high velocity card in a recent expansion, Modern Horizons 3. And we're going to come over here and we're going to look at the actual sales. And now I've filtered these sales down to near mint and normal. So non-foils, near mint. So everything is as like for like as possible so that we're not making any types of substitutions on light play or anything like that to save a couple of dollars. We're looking at all of the comparable sales. And so what you see when you start to look at this is you've got a lot of sales at $7.95, $7.98, $7.99. Then you got some sales at $6.02. So, 25% less. How is it someone's willing to sell at $5.98, but other people are able to sell on both sides of that at $8? And there are a couple of reasons for this. One is you're not just buying the card, you're buying shipping, obviously. And sellers all over TCG Player charge different amounts for shipping, especially for singles. When it comes to sealed products, most sellers don't charge shipping. They just bake it into the cost of the item itself, but they don't have an additional explicit shipping charge. But when it comes to singles, it's much more all over the place depending on what kind of volume, what kind of singles, and what kind of price range most of their cards fall into. And so some of these sellers will have had additional shipping costs. And so those additional costs may bring the total price of the card plus the shipping up to something that's acceptable. Now, it gets additionally complicated because you have the TCG Player cart optimizer, which tries to get you typically the lowest overall price for everything that you're buying. Now, you may already be purchasing other cards from a dealer. And let's say you're already purchasing something and you also want a Pyrogoyf, you've got that in your cart, and you let the cart optimizer go through and give you the lowest overall cost. Well, it may turn out that paying an extra dollar for a Pyrogoyf from a dealer you're already paying the shipping charge to is cheaper than paying another $2 shipping charge to someone else who has the card cheaper. So that's another instance where you as a seller can make a sale even though you are not the TCG low price. Now, there's another thing that comes into this, which is the location of the card. Now, some people will buy in the cart optimizer, they will choose the TCG direct only cart, and they might do that for a couple of reasons. The shipping is generally faster, and they can get all of their cards in one order. There really are buyers out there who get upset when they buy an entire commander deck at once and it comes to them as 22 separate envelopes. There are some people who really dislike that. And so you as a seller might make sales because the cards are going through direct. You will replenish them up to Syracuse later, and people are going to be able to get them in one TCG Player direct envelope because they don't want to open 22 separate envelopes. Beyond that, the kind of spatial problem is that sometimes the cards are just at a different store. Sometimes people want 4 copies, and it's cheaper for them to pay a little extra money for each individual copy to get all 4 from one seller than it is to buy them from the cheapest sellers but pay 4 separate shipping costs. So you can see there's a lot of reasons that, and a lot of situations where the cart optimizer is doing what it should do for the buyers, which gives them the cheapest overall total purchase price, but you can sell for way above TCG low. Now I'm going to put up just another card, Ancient Copper Dragon. Yeah, we love that card. And we'll see the same thing here. And again, I filtered these sales for only normal printing, no foils, and only near mint. And as we see, we've got a 68, we've got a 60, a 64, a 66, an 82. So even just the same printing, this is no showcase, this is no borderless, it's all the base frame card, non-foil, and you see here someone paid 68, the next person paid 82, and the next person paid 70. Again, it goes to how many copies are they buying? Where are the copies located? Are they already paying shipping costs? Do they really hate opening extra envelopes? And we'll see it one more time. I pulled up Scalding Tarn from Modern Horizons 2, another good high velocity card. And what do we have? 2210, 2677, 22, 21, 27, 27, 27, 26, 21, 26. So you see it varies all over the place. So you will make sales even though you do not price at TCG low. So there's those issues of the cart optimizer and where in the world are your cards located. There's the other issue that the market always just moves around. It moves around a lot during the day. And when I was in the Growth Accelerator program, which if they offer that to you, take them up on the offer, because as a seller, it's a really useful program. But one of the things they told me is they did a study with all of their available data, and it was basically looking at like-for-like versions of cards. So again, only non-foil, near mint, Scalding Tarns, for instance. And they would do an analysis, and they would look at, for each individual day of the year, what was the highest sale price and the lowest sale price, and what was the difference in between them? What percentage did it shift just over the course of the day to day, throughout the year? And they ran this for every variation of every card over the case of an entire year. And what they found was it was very common for cards to vary in actual sales price by easily 5, 10, 20% over the course of a single day. It was just totally normal. So the market's always moving around as people come in and buy cards. Sellers come in and list more cards. Sellers come in and list cards, and they don't always undercut everyone else. Sometimes they're like me and they list at 10% over market price. So there's that short-term movement of the market. There's also a long-term movement of the market, which is when standard Magic sets first come out, the singles tend to go down in price. When a premium set goes out of print, the singles tend to start rising in price. There's those kind of longer term movements. And so I can give you kind of an anecdote of something that happened recently. And it was that I bought a whole bunch of collector boxes to open for singles because it looked like there was about 25% profit margin. And that's in the range where I'm excited to open them, to do the work, and to make the money. So I ordered the boxes, and by the time they got to me, the market had gone down by about 8 or 10%. So that is to say the total expected value in the boxes at TCG market price had gone down 8 or 10%. And I looked at that and I thought, you know, I can sit on these boxes for a while. I'd rather go ahead and turn them around. I can go ahead and open them and sell them at the lower price. Or what I decided to do was I opened them, I sorted them, I listed them, and I put them at about 12% over market price. So I essentially put them at the price that they would have sold for when I originally ordered the boxes. And again, the market prices had gone down in between ordering the boxes and receiving them. And what happened? Well, the cards started to sell immediately. Now, not everything expensive started to sell immediately, but certainly cards in the, say, 25 cent to $5 range. They were all selling immediately because I really wasn't that far out of line with where the market just normally churns around during any given day. And then over the longer time period, you basically outlast other people. Enough of the copies get sold in the market, and the more expensive cards have started to sell. And so it didn't significantly increase the amount of time that it's taken to sell the cards. It is longer, but it's not significantly longer. It's not uncomfortably longer, or that it's going to hurt my business or anything like that, or impair cash flow or anything. But I wasn't willing to ultimately take less money for selling the cards. I was very happy when the profit margin looked like it was going to be 25%, and I was unhappy when it dropped significantly in between when I ordered the boxes and I received them. So I just priced them higher, and they still sell. So you don't have to sell at TCG low. You can go ahead and price above TCG low. You can charge a shipping fee on top of that, and you will move cards. Now, yes, the velocity and how many cards you move every day, that is going to vary based on the shipping charge that you give, and how far above or below market price you're willing to set your cards. And one thing that I used to do is originally I had my shipping charge as $1.19. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. And when I sell, a 5 cent card, I basically break even. And over time, as I started selling more and more cards, I thought, I don't want to fill orders to break even when someone only buys a single 5 cent card. And so I started increasing my shipping price and more and more and more until now it's $2.49 is what I charge for shipping. Well, the actual fees for postage and an envelope and a top loader and a sleeve and a team bag and all those things is a hair under $1. So that's real shipping and material costs. And so now when I sell a 5 cent card, I make a little over $1 profit. And so you can do that. You will potentially sell fewer cards, but make more money because you're pricing it more expensive. When the cart optimizer comes through and it says, hey, somebody's already buying a $2 card from you and they have all these 5 cent singles in their cart, you go ahead and you sell those for free because they've already paid your high shipping costs. Or when you're the only person who has that, you have some junk card at 5 cents and you've got $2.50 shipping, that still may be cheaper than someone who offers $1 shipping, but they have the card priced at $3. So there's so many variables that tie into it. There are times when you can adjust the shipping charge up and you can make more money. There are times when you adjust the shipping charge up and you make more money while doing less work. And so the real ultimate problem is the shipping fee is a very, very crude lever that we have to try to adjust the speed of our sales. And really, maybe another lever that we have is what's the minimum price you charge for a card. For me, for a long time, it's been 5 cents. And, I sell through a ton of junk cards and I sell a ton of 5 cent junk cards with $2.50 shipping and make over $1 profit off of a 5 cent card. And that works out well for me. That just pads everything else out. You make your money back on your high dollar cards when you open boxes to sell singles. And when you have a long tail of cheap cards selling for 5 cents with $2.50 shipping, it just gives you another little trickle of profit over time. So you don't have to price your cards anywhere near TCG low. The normal churn in the market day to day and month to month will eventually, in most cases, bring the market around to where your cards are priced if you're willing to wait. And just the cart optimizer itself will bring buyers who are getting the best deal for them. They're paying the lowest cost overall for everything in their cart. And it may include paying for your expensive copy of the card that's priced 10 or 12 or 15% over market price. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.